Detentions and layovers are the worst enemies of truckers and truck dispatchers. Think about it. As a truck driver, if you deliver one load per day, you get an average pay of $800 to $1,200 each day. But if you're stuck at the facility for 6 hours, you lose all this time you could be driving and making money on just sitting. And dispatchers hate this as much. First of all, if a driver doesn't get paid, a dispatcher isn't paid either. So naturally, they will want to avoid these types of situations. But also, they're the ones who have to deal with a broker to solve the problem and get their driver on the road ASAP. Which is exactly what we will discuss today: detentions, layovers, and how to deal with them. Imagine you're a truck driver who spends most of his days hauling goods from one destination to another. You like to plan everything ahead with your dispatcher so you always have your next load booked to stay in profit. Today, at 9 a.m., you enter the facility of a receiver in Colorado to get unloaded. You know your next load is waiting for you 30 miles away and that their facility closes at 5 p.m. But unloading now should take a maximum of 2 hours, so you assume you have enough time. You check in at the receiver and wait. 2 hours passed and nobody started unloading you, so you start to get worried, because you need to get to the next facility as well. You call your dispatcher and ask him to solve the situation and get you out of here ASAP. So he calls the broker and lets him know that they're holding you too much at the facility, that you should be on the road already getting the next load, and that 2 hours passed, so the broker will have to pay you $30 for each extra hour you stay there. This is called detention pay. You are paid for being stuck at the facility for more than 2 hours and not being able to drive and make money from another load. Drivers and dispatchers hate these detentions so much because it's quite hard to get brokers to actually pay. And even worse, it can cause a layover. Let's get back to our story to make everything clear. In the best case scenario, your dispatcher manages to alarm the broker, letting him know that you expect to be paid for the extra time. So they start to unload you faster to save their money. Maybe you stay there for 2 more hours while they unload you, but you can still make it in time to the next delivery and get loaded. While in the worst case scenario, the broker can't do anything. The queue is just too big. It's 2 p.m. already, they say that the facility is closing soon, so they won't manage to unload you until tomorrow morning. Plus, the broker from the other load is worried that you won't make it in time, so he cancels. You've now been stuck at the facility for 5 hours. You lost your next load and you have to stay the night. But there is nothing else you can do but wait. So your dispatcher calls the broker again to let him know that you will expect them to pay you per night as it is written in the rate confirmation. This is what a layover pay is, and it's usually paid at around $100 to $150 per night if you're lucky to get a reasonable broker, of course. The biggest problem with detentions and layovers is that a lot of brokers will say they can't pay you, or that their customer doesn't want to pay, or that they only pay detention after 4 hours, and so on. They basically don't follow their obligations. There are a lot of excuses, really. This is why it's really important to deal with it right to get the money you deserve. The first thing you should always do, whether you're a dispatcher or a driver that dispatches himself, is to always ask the broker before booking a load if they pay detention, what is the rate they pay per hour, and how many hours does their detention time start. Make sure they include this in the rate confirmation. If they say no, at least you know what to expect, so maybe don't book the next load right after this one. You might even try to negotiate a better rate for this. The next thing you must do is to always monitor the time. Make sure your driver always checks in and out at the facility and that they actually write the hours in the bill of lading. Also, if a detention did happen and you are stuck for 2 hours already, call the broker and let him know that it's been 2 hours and you expect to be paid according to the rate confirmation. This might even make them load you or unload you faster to save their money. And if you have another delivery you should get to soon, you must call the other broker as well and keep them posted. Maybe their load is not urgent, so they move your pickup time to the next day. In the end, if you did everything right and the broker still doesn't want to pay you, you at least have proof that you can use to claim the broker. I hope everything was clear and helpful to you, but if you have questions, let me know in the comments. If some of the terminology was new to you, we have a full video talking about basic dispatcher terminology you can watch, but don't hesitate to subscribe to our channel to get free educational content about trucking every week. Good luck!